It is the Brilliant Show, the
Coming at ya!
Supra Bowl edition.
Supra Bowl, look at you! See, now that's an old behind-the-scenes radio joke because the NFL won't allow you to say the actual title.
The Big Game.
You can't use their event to promote, like, your crap.
Yeah.
Your tchotchkes and your podcasts. So that's why you'll hear everybody, well, you probably have heard everybody over the past 2 weeks saying, the Big Game.
Yep.
How do I lower the volume on my phone here?
So anyway, I'm Scotty Brilliant, and the guy that was just talking.
Sorry.
It's Brother John. What's up, dude?
What's happening, brother?
And we do this podcast through Skype, and normally we Skype call each other, but this time we're Skype videoing each other. And so I can see your sweet ass and your hat. Was St. Louis? Is that a St. Louis hat? What is that?
Yeah, Cardinals.
Okay, all right. And you're in Florida, and it's funny because when I first called you, you're sitting at your desk, and I'm sitting at my kitchen table, and all I can see is palm trees out your window, and behind me, it's just as white as far as the eye can see.
Winter Wonderland. You're on planet Hoth for all you Star Wars fans.
It is cold, and you said it was, 62 degrees there?
Well, I don't know what it is right now. Let me take a gander because I feel
whatever you say, I'm just going to be I'm going to hate you.
It is currently exactly on the nose 70 degrees here in sunny South.
I hate you even more. So you like my haircut?
Again, like I explained, it is Winter Wonderland behind you, so the whiteness is acting as a you look like a silhouette right now. I can't see you.
That's how I like to look. And then I'll lean forward into the camera so you could see my face.
Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, it's real short. Kind of looks like Macklemore.
Yeah, I'm going for that trendy look,
Yeah, me too. I am marking out to that look. I've been slowly getting there, like growing the top a little longer, keeping the sides real short. Next haircut visit, I'm going all in, and I'm going to be Macklemore.
Yeah, I got the line shaved into my head, too, like old school old school Run DMC. But, I
want to see the lines. Vanilla Ice.
Let's see. It's hard because the part's not there. I just took a shower. But, see, I remember way back when the Mohawk was popular, like the faux hawk and then the Mohawk, and I swore I wasn't going to do it, and then I did it, and then I had it for like 2 years. And then I went back to my regular haircut, and then I was having Natalie buzz it just for a little while over the summer. And then I saw that new, the classic look they call it with the part, and I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And what do? I did it. Nice, John. And I did it today, and I went to Supercuts, and I had a great haircut for $15.
$15?
$15. And I felt bad because I actually looked up afterwards how much are you supposed to tip, because I got Ben's haircut and my haircut, and both of us, our haircuts came out to $29, so I gave $6 to split evenly, But obviously Ben's haircut is a little less intricate than mine, but that is 20%. But now I'm thinking, boy, I got the chick's name, I got her hours because I like the way she cut my hair. It's hard to find someone that you really like to cut your hair, especially at Supercuts. If you're going to a stylist and you're paying $45, they've got to do a good job. They take like an hour, but Supercuts, they take 10 minutes, bing, bang, boom. But she actually did an awesome job.
Finding a barber who you can trust is like finding a doctor that you trust.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that just automatically happens. You have to search.
Oh, I searched all the chains. Holiday Hair, Supercuts, great clips.
I had a guy
Walmart haircutting store.
I had a guy. Oh my God! I had a guy cut my hair at Walmart, and he made me look like I was going off to the Marines.
Oh yeah, you don't want to go there.
So bad. I was like, just buzz me up. But I did have a guy that I liked a lot, and I would always go see him. And at one point, he was like, "Hey, man, you've been back here like 4 times. Can I just get like your name and number? Because I'm leaving here and I'm going to start my own thing." And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'll follow you." And
he stalked you for years.
Never heard from him. I was like, "What happened?"
Really?
And I went back to his place, and he wasn't there. So I don't know. He must not have been a good businessman.
Maybe he was going to jail, and he wanted, one final fling before he got thrown in jail. And you might have been his 2:00 in the booty call. Maybe that's what he wanted your number for.
He was going to treat me like Seabass treated Lloyd.
Yeah.
And in the bathroom stall.
Very, very nice.
So what do you think's going to happen in this Supra Bowl?
Well, the big game. Yeah, I mean, I was watching. And I find it genius what Marshawn Lynch does. At first it was like, all right, he doesn't like giving interviews. It's kind of obnoxious when the media barges into the locker room after these guys have just played 4 hours of football and they're standing in their underwear and, they put microphones in your face. But then again, that is their job. You got to accept it. Just like your job is to play football, their job is to ask you about football, And he gave that interview. Yep. All he said was, yeah. And then now he's doing the Super Bowl press conference, and I am here because I have to be, or something like that. That was.
I'm only here so I don't get fined.
I'm only here so I don't get fined.
Only here so I don't get fined.
Yesterday's press conference, he went back and he just said, you know why I'm here. They know why I'm here. You know why I'm here. He said that, like 17 times or something. And the other one, I'm only here so I don't get fined, was 29 times. And now I'm thinking,
oh my God.
Come on. Obviously he doesn't have stage fright, or he's not shy. If he's agreeing to do this, why can't he just give some small answer? What's the big deal if he just said, yeah, I think we're going to win? Or even made up something funny, totally irrelevant to the conversation. So how do you think the defense is going to handle Tom Brady? Well, yesterday I ordered Chinese food and I got the ho-hung chicken. I was a little bit spicy. Why couldn't he just make up something totally irrelevant to the question? Why is he acting like that? What's his deal? He's trying to get attention by doing the opposite, of someone like Richard Sherman.
I'm going to quote someone who's pretty polarizing. Either you love him or you hate him. Stephen A. Smith from ESPN said it beautifully this morning on First Take, I think that's what it's on, after SportsCenter with Skip Bayless. He said, Marshawn Lynch, you are an incredible athlete, and you are incredibly compensated to be an incredible athlete. And because of that, it is your responsibility to help promote this organization that pays you so much. It's built into your contract that you have to entertain the media. And it's so true.
Yeah, it's true.
They're paid millions.
Yes.
Promote the company that, make the company that pays you an insane amount of money interesting. Help make them interesting.
I don't understand why you have to just go against the grain all the time. I never understood Ricky Williams. You have a once-in-a-lifetime chance, and you're an excellent athlete, an excellent football player, and you're just dicking around with it. There's only so many chances you get, and a lot of these guys that just take it for granted, how many people do you know that are professional athletes? I know zero. As far as getting paid millions, I know jiu-jitsu guys that are professionals, but they're not getting paid really anything, but they're technically, in the grand scheme of jiu-jitsu, professionals. So why would you act like Marshawn Lynch? Why would you do stuff like that? And then you got Richard Sherman on the other side of the coin, who is very outspoken, but then he tweeted, what a great day. Thanks for, very gracious in, his words. So, I like him more than I like Marshawn Lynch, just in the fact that, Richard Sherman talks a lot of smack, but he can back it up, and he's a well-educated guy, and he's also appreciative of the fans and of his time in the spotlight, correct?
He's crazy, too. On the football field, he's so good.
It's awesome watching him play,
Yeah, he's one of the most exciting cornerbacks since, Revis or, even Dion. He just dominates out there. It's there's two of them out there. But yeah,
how do you view it? Do you like Marshawn Lynch? Aside from being
I think it's stupid.
Player, but do you agree with his tactics for handling the press?
It's a publicity stunt, whatever it is. It's getting attention, even though it's nothing. But no, he should have to speak. They should fine him for doing that.
Yeah.
But it's a loophole that he's found that he's going to use. Yeah.
Because he's there, because he showed up, so he can say, they're not going to fine him unless he says something really outlandish. He's there, so he's not going to get fined for not being there.
There aren't any details about how interesting you have to be.
Exactly.
You just have to respond to the media.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I'm sure that's what the contract's like.
but aside from that, now we're gonna. I found some funny, some crazy prop bets because with every Super Bowl, I guess with any sporting event, there's so many ways you can win money. And I remember betting years ago when I first got into the Ultimate Fighter reality show. I was living. It was when we were living together, and it was the reality show that was on, and I watched it from first episode to final episode, and they had the finale. And I went to bodog.com, which I don't think exists anymore. It's a betting site, and I bet on the fighters.
I remember Bodog.
And how much money did we make at the radio station? I mean, I probably bet my week's salary, which is like $100.
Didn't make money.
on these fights.
We gave money away,
and I just lost. I lost terribly. I just picked who would win and who would lose. Easy bets. But I remember I put 100 down, and I ended up just maybe having $50 left after all of it, and then the site went down, so they credited my account. They gave me the money back, so I ended up losing $50. Whatever. So with the Super Bowl, I want to ask you firsthand the simple question: who do you think is going to win?
God, I don't know.
Who do you want to win, and who do you think is going to win?
I have a weird feeling the Seahawks are going to win. I want the Patriots to win. And I'm just so split down the middle. I just can't predict sports anymore. I've given up. I just have no idea. The Patriots could come out and destroy them because they have
deflated
three
balls.
Interceptions, and Tom Brady throws for 300 yards, and Gronkowski has 2 touchdowns. Or the Seahawks defense can get Tom Brady on his ass like the Giants defense did a couple years ago, and they beat them. I just have no idea. I just have a feeling it's going to be the Seahawks.
Okay.
And they're going to back-to-back Super Bowls. Or Tom Brady wins 4 Super Bowls in 6 appearances. Pretty amazing.
This is deflated balls aside, you think?
The size
of my
ball.
deflated balls. My deflated See, I'm the opposite here because I hate the Patriots. I mean, they're, arch rivals with the Jets, and I don't like Belichick. I don't like Brady. I think the Patriots are going to win, but I hope the Seahawks win. So I'm complete opposite from you, But I think Brady is just too cool and calm, and Russell Wilson it showed that he was able to come back and win a game, but he just seemed very shaky in that last playoff game. And Tom Brady, deflated balls aside, was just dominant. You got to. Yeah. Deflated balls are easier to catch, yes, but you got to actually get the ball into the guy's hands in order for him to catch it. So Brady is that accurate,
They would have beaten them if they were playing with beach balls.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. Stop it. And I don't believe I think some weird shit was going on behind the scenes there. I don't think Tom Brady was like, here, ball boy, deflate these 2 degrees. Yeah. And then the ball boy takes the footballs into the bathroom and psst, 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 we're gonna win. Psst, 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 we're gonna win.
Yeah, I agree there. It's very well. I think the only reason that it became such an issue was because Belichick got. He was accused of. Well, actually, he was found cheating before, right? By yeah. So I don't think people trust him to begin with. He looks like he has something up that sweatshirt of his up his sleeve. That hoodie of his. So
dude, they spied on the
it was Saints.
I think the Packers. No, it was the Panthers, some other team, and then the Eagles. And they won every Super Bowl that Tom Brady won by 3.
Yeah.
And they spied. They spied and cheated. So imagine if they weren't spying, they wouldn't have won.
Yeah, well
they won by 3. They just barely won.
Yes, exactly.
Because of that kicker, Vinatieri.
Yeah, exactly.
And Donovan McNabb throwing up on the field during the game.
That too.
Like a pathetic choker. That's not the definition of choking. Literal choking on the field of play.
That's awesome. Throwing up on the field.
Stupid air guitar McNabb. Yeah. Michael Jackson.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, man, I think it's going to be a Marshawn Lynch, ironically, might come out as MVP of this game if the Patriots don't win. He's so incredible, and this is what he wants to do. He wants to be on the big stage and shine, but I don't know if the Patriots defense is going to let him. I don't know.
I think it'll be a good game. I mean, I thought last year's game sucked.
Last year's game, Super Bowl I've ever watched.
It was horrible. It was boring, and so I think it'll be a good game, no doubt. I mean, yeah.
Are you distracted?
Well, I had to put on a new Curious George for Ben. I have a Curious George marathon going on for him. So, yeah, it's the two of us are shacked up. This is Ben Daddy time.
Let me tell you something about Curious George.
Yeah, tell me something, John.
Curious George was the first book I ever, took out at the library at St. Jude's Elementary School as a kindergartner. So I'm pretty sure it was the first book that I ever read.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what?
And Ben, 30 years later, is watching it on TV.
And you know what? When you think about it, like I was reading Ben a Curious George book the other night, and
that's a time capsule.
It's really sick when you think about it. They kidnap this chimpanzee from the jungle and like in a satchel, like in like a bag, and then they bring him to like they're kidnapping him, and I think he escapes, and that's how he kind of wanders around and meets the guy with the yellow hat and stuff. Like ultimately, that's how George met him because he was being like taken away from the jungle.
Oh.
So I mean, a lot of these children's books are like, kind of
pretty intense,
a little strange. Wow. But Curious George aside, I'm looking at these prop bets here, and you'll find some of these amusing.
Well, wait, we got to give like a final, at least show official prediction.
Okay.
I think it's going to be 23-21 Seahawks.
23-21 Seahawks. All right. I'm going to say 28. Yeah. I'm going to go with, providing that everybody scores and makes a field goal. 28-21 Patriots.
Wow. That would be a great Super Bowl if that was the score.
28-21. I think it's going to be a high scoring. I think 28 might be on the low end of things. I think it'll be a high scoring game.
No, I hope you're right.
Let's get to these prop bets here. So I was just looking on time.com on some of the silliest prop bets, and we got Bill Belichick's fashion and facial expressions. So I guess you can bet on the color of the hoodie that Belichick's going to wear. $100 bet on gray. If you're right, you win 50. And the another bet involves the odds of his facial expressions during the game, which obviously he's not going to have any expressions. So I bet 1,000 on that he's never going to smile unless he wins. So I'm going to say like one smile per game, and that'll be at the end.
So it's on how many times you see Belichick smile?
It's his facial expressions. Bet involves the odds of the of the ultra serious coach actually smiling on camera during the game. So what would be the odds of that? I mean, I don't know what the odds would be, but I'm going to say that it only happened maybe once during the game, and that's if they win.
Yeah, so those are pretty low odds.
I guess. What do we got here? The announcers, you can wager on the number of times that halftime performer Katy Perry will be mentioned on air during the first half of the game, as well as how many times the announcers will say deflated balls during the telecast, and the over under on that is 2.5.
Yeah, I'm taking the under on deflated balls. I bet you they're like, don't even draw attention.
You think so?
Just call the game. I don't think the announcers even want to. I think they just want to call the game. They don't want to do the BS drama. By now it's like exhausted, especially by Sunday.
Yeah.
Everybody's just ready for the game.
Exactly. And then
I don't think they talk
number of times they mentioned Katy Perry performing during halftime. This is during the first half. There's times where there's like a lull in the game, obviously, and they just talk about random things. And I imagine they would probably mention she's coming up, but I can't see it being more than like maybe 5 times that they mentioned at the beginning, maybe once or twice throughout the first and second quarters, and then before the half.
Yeah, you're right. It's probably twice during the first half. Or I mean, twice during the first quarter, twice during the second quarter, and then probably right before it.
The announcers will say, yeah. So you're going to agree with me on that. We should actually put money down.
Probably have to.
And then other sports.
All right, go ahead.
You there? Why do I keep on losing you? John, you there? Oh, you are there. Um, what do we got here? We got also
Other
yeah.
sports?
For instance, you can bet whether there will be goals in an NHL game that day. Perhaps the Coyotes versus the Canadiens and the Blues versus the Capitals. More goals in the NHL game than there are touchdowns scored in the Super Bowl by the Patriots and Seahawks.
Oh, yeah, I love these
Yeah,
ones.
I saw one on Jimmy Kimmel last night talking about LeBron James, whether he'd score more points himself than either team would score total, in touchdowns.
Yeah. I remember my buddy won like $1,000 because he bet that Kobe would score more points than like the Panthers in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. And Kobe had like 48 points.
Yeah, nice.
Those are fun bets.
Yeah, it's just what we got here. So
I bet you LeBron. Well, I don't know if LeBron's going to play. I might want to take that one.
When's the game? It's not
Sunday. Duh.
No, I don't mean
Super Bowl Sunday.
Super Bowl,
he's injured.
Really? So you don't think he'll be playing this weekend then?
He's like questionable for Saturday.
So take that bet because potentially win a lot, and especially if he doesn't play, then you lose a lot. What do we got here? Stuff that has to do with nothing.
He could score 0.
He could score 0, exactly.
With what?
This has stuff that has nothing to do with any sports. So in addition to the on-air mentions of Katy Perry, you can also place bets on what song she'll sing, whether she'll wear pants, shirts, or a skirt. I'm going to say I hope she wears nothing. And whether or not singer Idina Menzel or Adele Dazeem, as John Travolta would say, will admit at least one word in her rendition of the national anthem as she's singing that game. So I don't think she'll screw it up. I think she'll nail it. I think Katy Perry will probably wear one of her little one piece. What do you call it? Like leotard type. I'm talking about where she wears like
a onesie.
A onesie. Yeah, I think she'll probably come out something like that.
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully it's red.
I love her. I think she's the hottest performer out there.
She's like out of this world. She's not real.
No,
she might not be real.
Gorgeous. I don't know. I mean, she could be completely insane, but she seems funny. She's nice body. Yeah, just
killer body. Monsters.
Yes, huge monsters. Oh man. All right. What else do we got?
Yes. Huge monsters.
Finally, you'll like this one. Whether Marshawn Lynch, how many times he'll grab his crotch, or whether he'll grab his crotch.
Hold my dick. Hold my dick. I
guess
that's what he said.
He was fined $20,000 for grabbing his crotch during the touchdown celebration against the Packers. So
watch that video on YouTube. Marshawn Lynch beast mode versus Saints. It's so good. This guy kind of like narrates his run
with the grabbing of the crotch,
and then when he jumps into the end zone and grabs his crotch, he goes, "Hold my dick." It's wonderful.
Well, we got the over/under on a lot of these things. Will Marshawn Lynch grab his crotch after scoring a touchdown in the game? 400 to negative to, I don't know how you would like the lingo, but plus 400 to negative 600 in yes versus no. So 4-1 odds that he will. And
yeah.
So what do we got? Which color will Belichick's hoodie be?
Ooh, I'm going navy blue.
Yeah, all right. There's 7-4 odds on that.
Royal blue.
They have it looks like gray, blue, or red.
Gray. Yeah. Maybe red. Maybe he's feeling like Macho Man Randy Savage at WrestleMania 3. He's going to wear the pink. He's He's going to look bright, and he's going to win.
Maybe what will Katy Perry's hair color be? Man, what is the Nielsen rating of the game? Who cares about that? How many viewers will the game have? Who will be shown more on TV during the game? Robert Kraft or Paul Allen?
That is one amazing thing about Katy Perry. She looks good no matter what color her hair is, and even if it's purple.
I actually like it when it's blue because she looks more like a,
blue
sort of yes,
doll.
Exactly.
Come to life.
Some chick in a dream. And speaking of dreams, I What are you? You're sitting, and I just clicked back on you. You went from inside to outside, and you're smoking a cigarette on your porch right now.
Jeez. I mean, I'm enjoying my Thursday afternoon.
Nice. Well, I could sit outside too. Want me to do that?
I was in my office and I kept getting emails, and I'm like, give me a half hour. I'll get back to you.
Well, I got a text message from Chris Freed, who was on our show last week, and I'm sure he'll be on our show again next week. But he had an idea. He actually texted me an idea he had, which I think would be pretty funny if we can pull it off. But he's got these crazy.
Why didn't he include me?
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't like you, John. You know, because I'm the head of this thing. I am the head of this operation.
I'm gonna have to bring that up.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. Maybe you got the group text going. So.
Oh, this is a partnership.
Now it's a partnership, huh?
Yeah, I know. He ignored the group text. Of course.
So he sent me a text saying that he had an idea about the show, and I think I'm not going to reveal too much, but basically he's got a lot of crazy stories, things that don't happen to most people happen to Chris, just because he's at places and he's just not in the wrong place at the wrong time, like in the right place at the right time, and he's had a lot of girl mishaps and stuff. So we were thinking, actually, you know what? I'm just going to leave it at that. But I had a dream that this didn't go over well, and you were like pissed off that we were going to do something like a segment like this, and I was trying to be like, well, I think it'll go over, I think it'll go over well. So I had a dream that we were arguing about something on our little podcast, and I woke up in a very deep sweat. I was crying a little bit, John. I mean, I was crying, and Natalie was wondering what was going on, and I just said I had a dream about a relative dying, but little did she know that I was dreaming about us arguing, John. It was a horrible night. Night.
Wait, what was the segment that we were arguing
about? It was
what
Chris had proposed, and you didn't like it or something. I mean, and I was like trying to convince you that it would be a good idea, which I think...
You don't want to tell the audience the idea that he proposed?
Well, if we can get it going, should we tell? Should we say?
Well, I mean, I think if we talk about it, then we'll commit to it, and it'll carry over to the next show when I confront Chris about not including me on this idea.
Well, basically, not a huge thing, but we wanted to Skype or get on our show past girlfriends of Chris and ask them why.
Oh my God!
Why things didn't work out, where it went wrong, what they liked about Chris, what they don't like about Chris. Just kind of roast them. And this is his idea.
Wow, I think that's a tremendous idea.
And I know a couple of his ex-girlfriends, so I think we would have some willing participants. So,
oh my God, I am really, dude. The fact that he's willing to do that is just so cool. It was his idea,
and I was like, yeah, if you think we could, I'm like, do you think all these girls have, would be willing to do it? He's like, if they have Skype, yeah, we'll get them to do it. So,
wow. Yeah. That'll be fun.
We should try that. So we'll try to get him on next week. I know we wanted to get a brief Super Bowl show in. Actually, I'm headed back to Jersey tomorrow for the weekend. Parents have a Super Bowl party. Nice. Neighbors come over. I got a few friends from home coming over. So this is the best time to get our show done. But I wanted to ask you about I saw a Facebook post. And I don't think this was in a dream, and you could tell me if this was part of my dream last night. But you posted about neighbors that had binoculars that were like peeping over a fence. Was that true, or is that somebody else? Was that you?
Yeah,
what's going on there?
I posted on Instagram and on Facebook. This is amazing because you're the second person now that has fallen for this. They're not real.
I couldn't tell in the picture. You took a picture at nighttime.
I know. I did it. I did that on purpose.
What is it?
It's just like these two wooden, like decoration kind of thing.
That's
I know.
A horrible story, John.
Yeah,
I couldn't have made something up. Come on, you're the king of making up random shit.
This neighbor across the street, they have these wooden cutouts of an old couple with binoculars peering over their fence creepily. And I posted a picture of it, and you're the second person now to think that it was real. That's what the first person who got fooled, she said to me, she goes, I don't know what's creepier. Real people spying on you or people that have fake people spying on you?
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
I was like, I think the latter.
You should be glad that two people have a vested interest in finding out who is looking over the fence with binoculars. You should be appreciative of that, John. I think you should send out a Facebook post thanking everybody who looked at that picture and then it was such a disappointment as to what the actual story is. Maybe you should let people in and be like, this is urgent, like an urgent post, and say that those aren't real people. That is just cardboard cutouts of binoculars.
Well, the truth is, and I can't really talk about it, but they asked me to tell everyone that they were fake.
Oh, okay.
So I can't really.
I got you. All right, let's just getting somewhere, John.
So it's a little more complicated, but as of now, that's all I can really say.
Well, we'll leave it at that. And at least you have fake neighbors that are spying on you, because I think I fought with everybody on my block. I think I'm a pretty easy guy to get along with, but
really?
well, the one neighbor
you can get fired
up, and like the one neighbor who actually we're friends with now. Right when we moved in, their dog was pooping on our yard, so I talked about it on the radio, and the guy was a fan of the station and ended up calling. He was at work when he heard it. He called home, and his wife is a stay-at-home, mom, and she came over, and Natalie was home, and she was all like in a huff, like, my dog didn't poop on your yard. And then Natalie's like, well, there's dog poop on our yard and we don't have a dog. And she's like, well, why was Scotty talking about it on the radio? But see, the key was, like a good radio DJ, I didn't say where I lived. I didn't say who the neighbors were. So obviously she had a guilty conscience if she ran over and admitted to it, So the dog poop was gone by the time I got home. So that was that. But now I almost got into a fist fight with a guy down the street for speeding. This thug speeding down the road. I told him to slow down. He gets out of his car, tries to fight me. I have friends that are, city cops, so they actually paid him a visit, and so I'm like, what do I need to raise my fists? I don't need to be tackling this guy in the middle of the street, But anyway, the latest was today. This other car that always speeds down the road. I told him to slow down. I actually walked down the street. I'm like, hey, asshole, and he ran into his house. And I'm thinking about writing a note.
What?
Ran into his house. Like, he opened up the trunk. It looked like he was going to go in the trunk, and then I saw he just scurried into his house.
Get a rifle.
Well, so I didn't know. I'm like, why is he running into his house like that? Is he grabbing a gun? So I was thinking about just maybe paying him, like, putting a nice note on his car. Because now that I have a kid that likes to run around, that is the most annoying thing, is when people find the need to go 50 miles an hour down a residential neighborhood. There's no need for it. Unless you're pissing your pants and you can't make it, or you're shitting yourself and you have to make it to the bathroom, there's no reason why you should be flooring it and accelerating down the street. There's no reason.
Yeah. If I were you, man, I would walk up to that guy's door and just be nice and polite and just say, hey, look, brother, I got a kid, so just cruise through here. Just keep it low. Like, try to just be, like, help me out.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I'm not very. Yeah.
Don't punch.
Well, that's the thing, John. I have two, like, switches, and one is like, I'm good, and then the next is I just want to, like, fight you. So, like, I have a very my negotiation skills don't last too long. Like, hey,
you go from 0 to 60 in, like, the blink of an eye.
But then I go back down to 0. So I mean, what could be a fisticuffs could maybe come back down and be like, all right, dude, you just need to slow down. This guy's sped before. I know exactly where he lives. I was going to write him a nice little note saying, slow the hell down, you piece of shit, before I slash your tires.
Well, think about it. Ready? Put yourself in his shoes. He's a dick. He's a moron. And the more of a dick you are to him, the more he's gonna like it.
Yeah.
So if you're cool to him and just go there in person instead of writing a note, it may work out for the better. He may be like, all right, well, that guy could have been way worse. And, all right, he's got a kid. I'll slow it down.
It was either, well, you're right, John.
And then if he doesn't, just call the cops.
It was either that, or I do one of those old school, like, police tactics where I just roll out like a line of nails, like a, you know what I'm saying, and just have his tires pop as he's driving through, kind of.
Thumbtacks, nails, or you stuff a rag up his exhaust pipe.
That'd be a good way to get him too,
And, you get him there. Maybe sugar in the gas tank.
Yeah.
Put a little semen in the oil well.
That would be good too. Yeah.
We all know what that does.
What does that do?
That creates a human car. Does nothing.
Tell me you tried that.
We're just going to keep saying
Tell me you tried that. Yeah.
Not me, but a guy I know. Yeah. It's like a transformer.
Yeah. Like that's how Transformers were made. Yes. So so that's my issue, and I wonder why I'm a nice guy, like you've known me for a while. I'm a nice guy. I'm easy to get along with, but I end up fighting with everyone at one point or another. I think it's because people mistake kindness for weakness a lot, and I think, you can only, be so nice to some assholes before you're just like, hey, you're a dick, and you should let it be known that you're a dick. But anyway, so that's that, John. You got any plans for the weekend besides the Super Bowl?
No, and that's the annoying thing because I have like a bunch of tentative plans for the Super Bowl. But Saturday I'm going to watch the fight at my buddy's house. Anderson Silva!
Yep, the Spider. I'm surprised I didn't even bring that up because I watched the Road to the Octagon last night. I like watching these hour-long specials on, the fighters that are fighting on the main card. Just, I like seeing them train. I like seeing their life away from fighting. That's like my favorite stuff is just seeing their personal life and how they incorporate their personal life into training for fighting, into fighting. And,
they build the story.
Exactly. And, and it's funny because Natalie was asking me all these questions like, Do you honestly, does Nick Diaz, who's fighting Anderson Silva, honestly think he can win? And I said, well, it's a fight. Anybody has the chance of winning. People thought that Chris Weidman couldn't beat Anderson Silva, and he beat him twice. Now, it was a very fluke situation both times. Yeah. Anderson Silva was goofing off, got clocked, got knocked out. Second fight, he broke his leg. But, still, anything could happen. And I think Nick Diaz is a game opponent. I think he's a tough guy. He knows how to fight. And Anderson Silva is probably the best in the world. So I think it's going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be a good brawl. I think Silva's going to win. I don't think he's going to win by knockout. But I don't know. I think Nick Diaz is such a good ground game that
he could surprise him.
Yeah, I don't know. That's Anderson Silva's weakness is his wrestling. But, if Nick Diaz can't get it to the ground, Anderson Silva can kick you from 10 feet away with those long ass legs. I don't know. It's going to be a good fight. It's going to be, I haven't seen the both of them fight in a long time. So, we'll see if there's cage rust, if, there's a little bit of jitters. I don't know. Well, I'm going to say Silva. I'm going to say Silva by a TKO. I'm going to say he's going to get, a ground.
No knockout.
I don't think he'll knock out Nick Diaz. No, but I think the ref will stop it. I think it'll be ref stoppage, and Silva will get him the barrage of punches for the ref to stop. Yeah. So.
All right. Well, I'm excited about it, and I want to watch that. Is it like on demand, or how do you see that?
They charge a phenomenal fee. If you got a whole group of buddies and everybody puts in $5-10, it's cheap, or if you go to a bar.
No, but not the fight. The
Road to the Octagon. Yeah, it's on Fox Sports 1 or whatever. Yeah, you can probably get it on demand. It's a cool thing to watch. So you're going to be watching that Saturday night then?
Yes, that's Saturday night at Byron's house.
Lord Byron,
Lord Byron of House Manuel. He's a good guy. He's got 90 different beers, craft beers. He's like a beer collector. And then Super Bowl Sunday, we have a bunch of tentative plans, and I just can't commit to one or the other. Obviously my parents are down here, so I want to watch it with them, but Heather's sister is having a party. She wants to go to that. Yeah. So I'm in a pickle, and I don't want to miss Katy Perry.
Oh, I don't want to miss Katy Perry. That's what I'm looking forward to most. It's Katy Perry shaking her monsters on stage. Slapping them around. All right, so that was the Brilliant Show. John, you enjoy your weekend, and we'll reconvene next week.
Hell yeah,
Brilliant Show, and even though it smells funky, it's still fresh.
Like tuna fish, it's terrible.